I'm a people-oriented person, and I do believe that people come first. In any organization, the people have to give their best. It's only then that the organization can do very well. So, as leaders, our job is to build the people, and the people will build the business. So, our focus has to be on getting the people to deliver their best. And that is where I think leaders should focus their total attention on. Of course, some of my colleagues consider me to be an autocrat, and I wouldn't disagree too much with them, because sometimes I do believe that as performers or as people in the team, you can either progress or make excuses. So one can be very demanding, and it's at times like this that one has to tone down the demanding nature of one's personality and help people to do their best, to put up their best, and to deliver the best. As I said in my answer to the previous question, either you make progress or you can make excuses. So the people who put me off are the people who keep making excuses, who want to give reasons and give excuses. You see, reasons and excuses are different things. Reasons are given when you succeed, and excuses are given when you fail. So, for instance, if you were to climb Mount Everest, you would say, despite the oxygen falling short and we having to refill it, despite the cold weather, we still managed to conquer Mount Everest. Now, these are reasons. But if you fail to do something and you keep giving excuses, that's something I don't like. So people who make excuses, there's one set of people I don't like. Another set of people I find difficult to work with is people who keep politicizing issues, people who are not transparent, and people who have different standards for self and others. And that makes life difficult in a professional organization and causes unnecessary stress. That's why these type of personalities I'd like to avoid if I can. But of course, that choice doesn't mostly rest with us. So we have to live with what we get, and we have to manage with what we get to the best of our abilities and for the best interest of the organization. Well, if I was to really think hard, I think a couple of points come straight to mind. One is that I have the ability to empathize. So I can imagine where a person is coming from or what he is thinking. Secondly, by nature, I'm a demanding sort of a person. So pulling people with me, or sometimes if required, giving them a push, is not something I find very difficult. By nature, I'm aggressive and I speak my mind. Most people, when they interact with me, they interact with a very direct person, a very, very transparent person, and a person who doesn't mince words either way. If I don't like something, I'll say it fair and square. If I like something, I would say that. So people expect a certain high level of performance. They know that my standards are higher than most. And therefore, even in the normal circumstances, when I speak to people, they factor in that part of my personality and they try to give that little bit extra. So what I find most of the time is that I really don't need to push the people. When I speak to them or I expect something from them, they have already raised their bar. And at the end of the day, that's what a leader needs to do. He needs to understand what the potential of each person is. Is a person holding back? Is he doing his best? Is he delivering what is the maximum level he's capable of? And depending on that, in an honest, transparent way, without pushing people down or without shoving people across the road, you have to realize, you have to get people to maximize their potential, to maximize their results, and do the best for their organization. And at the end of it all, feeling good having done what they did, without feeling stressed, without feeling fatigued, or without feeling under pressure. That I think is what makes the difference. There are three or four things which I would say are motivating factors. The first and foremost would be happiness, because happiness is something that comes from within. And if you are happy, others around you are happy. In contrast, if you are not happy, others around you are not happy. So an unhappy leader can never have a happy organization. And therefore, from that standpoint, happiness is important. It comes from within, but what motivates me is my ability to create happiness, my ability to make people happy, and my ability, or my, what should I say, my performance or my behavior towards others, which creates happiness. Another thing that motivates me is a challenging goal or task. When you feel stretched, when you feel you have delivered more than you normally would, and when you feel that you have given your best, now that gives you a feeling of satisfaction, contentment, and of course it motivates you to keep doing even better. Another factor that motivates me is whether the target or goal helps me impact the lives of a large amount of people positively. For example, if it's a standard routine job, I mean, that's not what motivates me. But if you were to stretch and do something for the society at large, for the company at large, and make more people impacted positively and them feeling the positive impact of our action. It's a difficult question, but I'll answer it as best as I can. I distinctly remember one instance of where we were, formulating the policy for performance appraisal of our people. And we were a group of senior managers, vice presidents, directors, and we were debating how appraisals are to be formalized and how appraisals need to be uniformly done across the organization. At that point, the difficulty we had was every manager on the table wanted to rate his people very, very highly. So I had to put a lot of logic, I had to do a lot of questions, I had to do a lot of examples, and at the end of it, I managed to convince the team that not everybody is cut out to be a superb number one performer. Not everybody can be bad. So how do we use logic? How do we use numbers? How do we use data? And how do we use face-to-face communication to appraise employees, to do so transparently and with a role play in between the discussion? I could convince people and show them that even if you have to say an unpopular thing, but if you do it in the right tone, with total transparency and with the benefit of the employee in question at the center of it all, the person or the employee does accept it, and you can be transparent and you can appraise very, very, methodically, or should I say, very, very rationally. And both sides would agree with the appraisal at the end of it. So that session which we had set the tone for future years, and today we have come to a situation where as an organization we not only have appraisals but we have quarterly appraisals for all managers in the organization, and that's something which has helped our organization to perform better than it otherwise would have.